Welcome to Shri Shripad Baba VMST lecture series on Shri Vishnu Shastram Stotram. Today we shall be having a focus upon a reach from formulation Vishwa to pair of formulations Vishnu and Vastkar. Formulation Vishnu is of TC value 25 and formulation Vastkar as well is of TC value 25 while formulation Vishwa is of TC value 19. This pair of formulations Vishnu and Vastkar being of same TCV values brings us first feature to a focus, that a step from the first formulation to second and third formulation becomes possible as the reach is simultaneously going to be from value 19 to value 25 and 25 as of addition value 50, which is parallel to the transcendence along the formulation Maya, which is of TCV value 14. However, transcendence here in elongated O is going to have a reach up till value 50, means there is going to be an addition of value 36. Let us have a pause here and see that 3 space is a linear order space. 1 space is playing the role of dimension of 3 space, and cube as hypercube 3 as the representative regular body of 3 space is a 4-fold manifestation layer with 3 space in the role of domain and 4 space in the role of origin. Further, we know that 3 space is a linear order space while 4 space is a spatial order space. As such, the transition from 1 space in the role of dimension of a 3 space to 2 space as dimension of the role of 4 space amounts to that transition as such from formulation first Vishwa to the pair of formulations Vishnu and Vastkar is going to be parallel to a transition from linear order space to a spatial order space. It is from value 1 to value 2. It is from 1 space body to a 2 space body. Further, we know that within 2 space body means a surface, we can simultaneously have a 1 space body as well as a 2 space body. It is this feature of 2 space body which brings to focus as to how there can be a simultaneous transition from the first formulation to the pair of formulation by having first a reach at the first formulation only, and then at the second step is the availability of both the formulations. It is this step which is sequentially taking us to value 1 to value 2 as a pair of values 1 and 2. It is the feature which is designated as Kram Samapti, sequential reach, the end reach value of the sequence. We can have a pause here and take note that normally the sequence is being taken as a range of steps of values, say A, B, C, and so on. However, we don't appreciate that there is a jump from value A to B and there is a jump from value B to C. Now this jump means there is a gap here and gap here. This gap needs to be bridged. The bridging of this gap between the pair of values of a sequence itself becomes a sequential order. Therefore, sequence S1, S2, S3 will permit a bridging sequence, say S11, S12, and so on. Here the bridging would be by another sequence S21, S22, and so on. Therefore, it is a sequence with a second bridging sequence. It is by this having a bridging sequence for the sequence which will give the complete reach for the sequential order. It is this reach of a sequential order. For its appreciation, if we visit the value crumb, it leads to TC value 13, while the Samapti formulation takes us to TC value 16. We know that value 13 is equal to 1 into 13, while value 26 is equal to 2 into 36. Further, we know that within 4 space, 3 space body, say cube, a 12-edged setup with a degree of freedom of motion manifests an additional edge, the 13th edge, and as 4 space itself is a spatial order space, as such simultaneously there would be available along a single axis as value 13, along the pair of axes as value 26. One shall have a pause here and to permit the transcending mind to be parallel to this range of features as to how the linear sequencing results into a spatial sequencing. Therefore, reach from first formulation to the pair of formulations as such would mean they would have to reach from 3 space to 4 space. Let us have a pause. Let us enlist these features as that the linear sequencing from formulation 1 to the end reach 1000 formulation of Vishnu Shastranam Stotram on the face of it appears to be an organization of linear sequencing, first formulation, second formulation, third formulation, so on. However, this is going to be a creative order as Vishnu is the overlord of 6 space which accepts 4 space in the role of a dimension. Therefore, the Vishnu lok is 6 space is a space of a creative dimensional order. That is 4 space is playing the role of dimension of a 6 space. However, 4 space itself is a spatial order space. Therefore, the organization format from first formulation to 1000th formulation is on the face of it appears to be as of a linear sequential organization format which straightway takes us from value 1 to value 2 to value 3 and so on as per the mathematical rule of Eka Adhikain Purvain, one more than before. However, we know that the gap between the first sutra and the second sutra is bridged in terms of the 13 Ganita Upsutras. Value 13 we know is the value which is parallel to the format of a dynamic state cube in 4 space manifesting 13th edge along the 4th dimension of a 4 space. As such, The sequential organization format of the 1000 names of Lord Vishnu is going to be of a sequential of spatial values and features. That means when we will be reaching from formulation 1 to formulation 2, then it is going to be only a progress along the first axis of the pair of axes of a spatial order. When the second axis will be available and will be utilized, then it would amount to that from first formulation along the first axis you can reach only up till formulation 2. However, when the second axis will be available, then we can have a reach from first formulation to the pair of formulations, that is formulation 2 and formulation 3 both. Today our focus is about the second feature of the spatial sequential order. The second feature of the spatial sequential order is a feature when both the axes of two space are available. When both the axes of two space are available, then the first axis will take us only from first formulation to the second formulation. However, when along with the first axis, the second axis as well would be available, then there would be a simultaneous reach from formulation 1 to the pair of formulations, that is to formulation 2 and formulation 3. As such, a reach from cube, a linear order space as hypercube 3 to hypercube 4 would mean it is going to be a reach of a three-dimensional frame of three linear axes to a four space, which would mean there is going to be split, there is going to be Visfort explosion at the origin, and because of it, this linear order dimensional frame will get transformed into a spatial order dimensional frame of triple dimensions. It is this transition and transformation for the linear order three-dimensional frame into a spatial order three-dimensional frame which will cut three space into 8 octants. And it is this cut of the cube into 8 subcubes as a enveloping solid boundary of 8 components around the origin placed at the center of the cube. It is this which will lead us to the organization format of hypercube 4, the representative regular body of two space. As such, the sadhakas fulfilled with intensity of urge to glimpse and imbibe the format feature of the spatial sequential order, which simultaneously takes from formulation 1 to pair of formulations, means the second and third formulation of the same TC value. Then one is to focus upon the center of the cube and then to chase the explosion here, Visfort here, in terms of which there is going to be a transition for the three-dimensional frame of linear axis into a three-dimensional frame of spatial axis, and as a result thereof the cube will split into 8 subcubes, and these 8 subcubes as such will be enveloping the center, the origin of a cube. It is this enveloping of the cube at its center in terms of 8 subcubes which will make a 4 space at the seat of origin of 3 space, and it being enveloped by a solid boundary of 8 components, and as such it is going to be a transition from 3 space body to a 4 space body. It is here where the linear logic will get transformed, and it is this transformation of the linear logic into the spatial logic which deserves to be comprehended well. We can have a pause here and see that when at the center of a cube as a linear order space. So one space has dimension manifesting as 3 space. When there is going to be a Visfort here at the origin, then it will amount to a creation of a hypercube 4 of spatial order, and as a result it will amount to superimposition of a spatial order upon a linear order. It as such will make a setup of line as well as of a plane. It is going to make us a crumb and samapti. It is this sequential reach, it is this end reach value of the sequential organization as an end result of transition of the linear order into a spatial order, and as a result there is going to be a transition from the setup of a cube to a setup of hypercube 4. Here simultaneously we can see that within a surface, is within a 2 space, we can have a interval as well as the square. However, this superimposition will further help us appreciate that as a net result the value is going to be 3. It is this value 3 which as a dimensional order will take us to 5 space, means 3 space in the role of a dimension, and it is here where the solid domain transcendental space 5 space will get enveloped within a creative boundary of 10 components. Therefore, the sadhakas fulfilled with intensity of urge to glimpse and imbibe the transition from the linear order to a spatial order, and as a result the superimposition of the spatial order upon the linear order, and there being a transition and transformation into a solid order. It is this feature, it is this value which deserves to be comprehended well, and it is by this comprehension we will be having an appreciation of the organization format of Vishnu Shastram Stotram, which is availing firstly a linear sequence along the first axis to have a transition from the first formulation to second formulation, and at the second step there is going to be a simultaneous transition to second and third formulation both. It is this feature which deserves to be comprehended well. It is with appreciation of this feature that we will be parallel to the organization format features of the Vishnu Sahasranam Stotram. For a proper appreciation, we can further have a pause here and take note that the numbers, say when we write 1, 2, 3 and reach up till 9, then we say these are single digit numerals. However, a step ahead, when we reach at value 10, then it is going to be a transformation from single digit 1 to a pair of digits organization. Now value 10 with when is expressed as 0, 1. So when these single digit numbers, numerals, are transformed into a double digit numerals, then 0, 1 and 1, 0 constitute a reflection pair. It is this feature of transition from single digit organization to double digit organizations which will be constituting a reflection pair, which would amount to that there is going to be an insertion of a mirror with the artifices of the numbers. It is this feature of the Vedic systems, it is this attainment of the Vedic systems which deserves to be comprehended well, and it is by this appreciation that within the artifices of the numbers there are mirrors, and mirror as such will be resulting into a reflection pairs, which amounts to that reflection is the feature, is the operation, which is a distinctive operation. It is distinctive and is of different generic and different values than our well-known quadruple arithmetic operations of addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. The conventional system which works as a linear organization, and the parallel mathematics, the arithmetics of the linear or order organization are our conventional orthodox arithmetic operations. However, when we are transiting to the Vedic systems, when we are transiting from the orthodox systems to the Vedic systems, and when we are transiting from the Ankvyavastha to Divya Ankvyavastha, the transcendental code values, then we are having an insertion of a reflection operation. Therefore, the sadhakas shall sit comfortably and to be parallel to this additional operation available for the Vedic systems, and it is designated as a reflection operation. So reflection operation is a operation of different generic than the orthodox arithmetic operations. It is this new generic operation of the Vedic systems which distinguishes it at the foundations from the modern mathematics of linear order format. The Vedic mathematics distinguishes itself because of the new generic operation in the form of the reflection operation being availed. This amounts to that our approach to the organization of the values as numbers is to be appreciated in terms of the mirrors inserted in the artifices of the numbers values. Mirrors inserted in the values of the artifices of numbers is the feature which deserves to be comprehended well. It is this comprehension which will help us appreciate as that when we want to organize the single digit numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 9 in as the double digit numbers, then the organization will get transformed into 9 into 11 grid, and it is this grid which will further split the numbers along as an upper block and the lower block, and the upper block will have a mirror line along 11, 22, 33, 44, and the lower block will have a mirror line along 55, 66, 77, 88 and 99. It is this split in terms of the upper block and the lower block, and when the upper block will be viewed, comprehended, chased along the central mirror line, then we'll see that it is constituting 29 reflection pairs, of which the 4 are going to be the self-reflecting as 11, 22, 33 and 34 are availing the same digit for the double place of this organization. And then the another class is going to be of 01 and 1 0, 02 and 2 0. That means when 0 is one of the digits. The remaining are the digits which are having a pair of distinct digits like 12, which constitutes a reflection pair with 21. Now it is this feature which will help us appreciate that the upper part as such is having in all 29 reflection pairs, which accept organization as 16 and 13, and the 16 are the reflection pair in which the both digits are not having a 0 digit. Therefore, it is this organization as 16 and 13 will again help us appreciate how the static cube of 12-edged transits and transforms into a 13-edged cube within 4 space because of the availability of 4th dimension as degree of freedom of motion, along which manifests the 13th edge. And further we know that 16 and 13 together as 29 are parallel to the organization of 16 Ganita Sutras and 13 Ganita Upsutras. Further we know that values 1 to 16 when are approached in terms of their factors then we'll see there are going to be 29 factors of values range 1 to 16. That means values 29 and 16 plus 13 brings to focus as to that values range 1 to 16 acquires additional value 13. There it is how the interrelationship of the organization format of Ganita Sutras and Ganita Upsutras is available to us, and it is this which will help us appreciate how the 13 Ganita Sutras are providing us the mathematics for bridging the gaps between the pair of consecutive Ganita Sutras. In this light, let us proceed further and let us see how the formulation Maya, it is one of the formulations with whose appreciation we will be face to face with the transcendence feature as a specific feature of mathematics of Ganita Sutras. Now the formulation Maya is availing quadruple letters, and these quadruple letters as such are leading us to TC values 9, 2, 1 and 2 as 14, which is parallel to 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, parallel to 2, 3, 4, 5, the manifestation layer of hypercube 4. So this formulation initially in terms of TCV values is taking us to the creator's space, that is a 4 space with hypercube 4 as its representative regular body. Now see, 5 space is playing the role of origin, and because 5 space is a transcendental space, therefore here the transcendence will take place. Therefore the letter A as A plus A with a transcendence 1, minus 1 and minus 3 of product value 3, 1, minus 1, minus 3, 3 product value, and 3 and 3 as synthesis value 5. So here we will be getting 9 multiplied by 5. Further here is value 1 multiplied by 5. Now see, this value as such is going to be 50. And value 50 is equal to, we know that when we reach 5 space, which is hypercube 5, having a creative boundary of 10 components, therefore the center origin of 4 space is 5 space, and there are as many as 10 creative components. This makes 10 multiplied 5 is equal to 50. It is this Maya, it is this illusion, it is this transition and transformation of a transition from a linear order 3 space to a spatial order 4 space, which transits from 4 space as a domain to 4 space as a boundary. It is happening as the 4 space is of a spatial order, and as such, as a first step, we are reaching from 3 space to 4 space. But when the second axis is available, then we reach from 4 space to 5 space. However, the spatial order takes us to a boundary. It is this reach for the role of 4 space as creative boundary of a 5 space of 10 components, leading us to value 50. It is the Maya. It is this Maya which is to be appreciated as this value 50 is equal to 25 plus 25. Now it is this feature which is feature because of the spatial order of the creator's space. It is this feature which is going to be built, which is at work while we will having a reach from the first formulation to second and third formulation simultaneously. A reach from first formulation to second and third formulation simultaneously is a Maya, is a illusion, is a concept, is a format which on its comprehension will be blissfully bringing us face to face with the organization, format, features of the Vishnu Sahasranam Stotram. It is this feature which deserves to be comprehended well. It is this feature which shall be imbibed. For it, let us begin that with the formulation Vishwa, which as Vishwa will be taking us to as TCV values of 72271 as 19. However, the transcendence at this vowel and transcendence at this vowel as a dimensional frame will be leading us to value 0, and here the value is going to be 27. Now it is this value 27 which deserves to be appreciated. Its appreciation firstly is of the feature, and when there is a domain split, then this value 27 will take us to its dimension in a twofold way. So value 25 and 27 means formulation Vishnu and Vastkar is a reach because of the formulation 19 gives a transcendence to value 27, which as a domain is providing us a split into a pair of streams of value 25 each. One shall sit comfortably and permit the transcending mind to be face to face with this organization format feature. Once we are parallel to this organization format feature of the formulation wish, which as a transcendence as value 27 will be taking us to pair of streams of value 25 each, and hence there is going to be a reach from the formulation wish to the formulations Vishnu and Vastkar. The sadhakas fulfilled with intensity of urge to be parallel to the organization format feature of the Vishnu Sahasranam Stotram, then one shall be first of all face to face with a transition from formulation Vish to formulation Vishnu. Then one shall be parallel to simultaneous transition and transformation from formulation Vish to formulation Vishnu and Vastkar. With comprehension and imbibing of this feature, we will be in a position to appreciate as to how the Ganita Sutras in its Upsutras is availing a formulation work. Now it is the formulation work, it is the square, it is a two-space body, it is a dimensional frame. Therefore, square or a two-space as a domain is the feature which will take us to a prior single dimensional space. Therefore, for it, the equation, simple equation, n square is equal to n plus 2 plus n multiplied by n plus 2 plus 2 means up till this the value is of a dimension, and when we added value 2 it makes a domain. Therefore, square, n square as domain is the feature which is the distinctive feature of the Vedic systems. Vedic systems are providing transcendence from one space as a domain, means one space, to a two space as a domain. So, two space as a domain is the feature, is the value which is attained by Vedic systems. Therefore, a transition from one space to two space is the transition which deserves to be comprehended well. It is by this comprehension that we will be appreciating that when n is equal to 6, then we know that value 36 will be 4 plus 6 plus 4 into 6 plus 2 means 6 space with 4 space as a dimension is having addition and multiplication and then a together superimposition as value in the role of a dimension with value 2 will take us to a domain. So 6 space with 4 space in the role of a dimension will ultimately work out for us 6. That means a 6 square. That means a square, 6 square, this area as a domain is reached at. Let's simultaneously for n is equal to 5, n is equal to 4, n is equal to 3, n is equal to 2, n is equal to 1, 0, minus 1 deserves to be changed sequentially for having complete comprehension and imbibing. One may have a pause here and see that the formulation Paranava is having value 36. Further, we know that the Ganita Sutras and Upsutras, Sutras and Upsutras are availing in all 36 letters only. Therefore, sadhakas fulfilled with the intensity of urge to have a complete comprehension of the organization, format, features of the mathematics, science and technology of Vishnu Sashtanam Stotram as a 6-space mathematics, science and technology shall be face to face with value 36 in the role of a domain. Value 36 in the role of the domain will take us to value 24 in the role of a dimension. And value 34 we know is equal to 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10. It is parallel to fourfold manifestation layer of hypercube 9, and 9 space hypercube 9 is the representative regular body of a 9 space, means a Brahm, means the eternity, a Brahman domain. And further we know 6 space as dimension is ultimately taking us to 9 space as the origin. These all features as such are simultaneously at work. These are simultaneously playing their role. It is this role which is to be chased. Sadhakas fulfilled with intensity of virtue shall sit comfortably and see that how the formulation Maya had taken us from value 14 to value 50. Now let us see the formulation Leela. The formulation Leela is taking us to TC value 16, and further see that it is taking us to value 5 into 2 plus 5 into 5 is equal to 35, which is the value of Udgit. It is here where we have to have a pause and see as that 5 cross 7 grid is accommodating 35 double digit numbers of 6 place value, while the first triple digit number of value 36 of the 10 place value system transcends out. Now it is this transcending out value which is being complemented by this 35 double digit values. It is how the Paranava and Udgit get coordinated. It is taking us to Chandaka Upanishad. So how from the transcendence as a dimensional frame, as we are taking up here, we are applying it here. Now this transcendence along the dimensional frames filters out. It is this filtering out which we know that is will be taking us to the northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere setup. And northern hemisphere value is 19. It is here where is the Vishwa value. It is here where the Om as such will be the value. It is here where we will be reaching from 16 to 19. All these features are coordinated. All these features are simultaneously available. All these features are at work. Therefore, sadhakas fulfilled with the intensity of urge shall be face to face with the reach from formulation Vishwa to pair of formulations Vishnu and Vastkar. It is this reach which will provide the necessary bliss and the necessary fillip of transition in sequential steps from 3-space mathematics, science and technology to 4-space mathematics, science and technology to 5-space mathematics, science and technology, and ultimately to 6-space mathematics and technology. It is this sequential reach which is going to be the reach from the formulation Vish to pair of formulations Vishnu and Vastkar. It is by this reach, it is by this attainment, it is by this fulfillment of the bliss that our intelligence will get a consciousness format. Moment the intelligence gets a consciousness format, then we will be having a transition from Jad to Chetan. It is this reach. Jad we know is 4 and then multiplied by 3, 5 multiplied by 3 is going to be 27. This reach of the Vishwa is becoming value 27. It is Jad, it is mundane. Then Chetan is going to be 2 multiplied by 48 and it is going to be 4 multiplied by 3 and then 8 multiplied by 3. This is going to be 96, 12 and 24. It is going to be 132 and this value 132 is equal to be 11 into 12 and it is this going to be the reach of Shiv Shahist Nam Stotram. Therefore, the sadhakas fulfilled with the intensity of virtue and having imbibing of the transition from formulation Vish to formulation Vishnu and Vastkar will be ultimately of the transcendental order of transiting and transforming from Jad to Chetan. And it is this transition and transformation from Jad to Chetan which will be ultimately doing all the wonders of a reach from formulation 1 to formulation 1000th. Sarv par haran ayud. Sarv par haran ayud. It is this reach of Vishnu Sahasranam Stotram which is the urge of each one of us. It is this urge which will be fulfilled and it is with the bliss of this urge that we will be having more and more enlightenment, and it is this enlightenment for which we the sadhakas go to the shelter of the organization format of Vishnu Sahasranam Stotram. Thank you very much.